Hello everyone. Welcome to the day 9 of DevOps series. Today's session is about what is Ansible. But before we begin the session, make sure to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you'll never miss any update from us. In this session, you will be knowing about some basic concepts of Ansible and how it actually works in DevOps. So let's see the agenda for today's session. First, we'll be talking about what is Ansible. Then, we'll be discussing about how does Ansible work. Post that, we'll be talking about Ansible Architecture. After that, we'll be discussing about Ansible Playbook Structure. And lastly, we'll be learning about Ansible Roles. So that's all with the agenda. Let's start the session.
Now, Ansible. Before we will jump into the Ansible, just to understand what exactly Ansible, that means why these tools are there in DevOps. Okay, what exactly this tool will do. So I will just give you a little bit brief understanding what exactly why we are going to deal with these tools. Okay, so a lot of you have heard about infrastructure as a code. Okay, IASC. So what exactly it will do? If just a minute, let me show you this. If somebody asks me go and create an instance on cloud, what I will do, I will click on here, click on the instance, click on launch instance, choose a specific image, then provide the necessary information like storage, security group, what VPC you want, what availability zone you want, what subnet ID you want to choose. Those are the things we have to pick. That's it. Okay. This is the manual way. Okay, where you are logging into your management console. It may be your AWS, Azure, GCP, or Oracle, DigitalOcean, whatever we. So there are 100 number of stuff are there using which you can create the instance. Okay, so we are doing that means we are following a manual process to create a infrastructure. I'm not just saying about a VM. Anything in cloud like VPC, virtual private cloud, your security groups, IAM roles. So whatever the services are there, we can create those stuff, those infrastructure manually. Same thing if we want to create it or we want to maintain the infrastructure. Okay, even though it was changed by someone else manually, automatically it will come up into that state, whatever state you have defined or your organization has defined. We want some automation. Manually is really hard. Okay, if you have 500 5 server, 10 server, 50 server, you're able to maintain it manually. But when you have in 1000 servers, 5000 servers, it's difficult to maintain the integrity governance of your infrastructure. It's not possible. Okay, so how to do that? What are the tools will help to make your infrastructure consistent or maintain the integrity or the current governance of your infrastructure? So how we can do that? So Ansible is one of the tool where we try to automate the process using infrastructure as a code. If I ask somebody how to create a user in a machine, tell me what is the way to create the user in in a very layman language. I'm asking you. Okay, I don't want any technology based answer. Just in a layman, if somebody asks you go and create the user in any of the machine, it may be Windows, Linux. So what is the way to create? Okay, so there are a number of ways to create the user. Okay, now what will happen if that user is deleted by someone else? What will be the next step? How you will sure that user automatically get created? Or 1 2 server is fine, somebody will tell you that I'm not able to find this user, or somebody informed you. Okay, but it's very hard for you to figure it out. Okay, that out of 5000 servers or 10,000 servers, that somebody has deleted a user in one of the server. It's really hard. Okay, so to bring or to maintain that integrity, okay, or the you can say persistence between your infrastructure, we will always try to go with infrastructure as a code. So let's see what exactly the Ansible is. So what is Ansible? Ansible is an open source configuration management tool used for configuration management, can solve wide range of automation challenges, written by or created by Michael Dehan, named after a fictional communication device first used by Ursula K. Okay, in 2015 when it was acquired by Red Hat. After that, Ansible is one of the most popular tool in the market from the infrastructure support point of view. Okay, so the difference between in infrastructure configuration tool or management tool and infrastructure as a code tool, see, there are two things. We will do the coding in all the tools. One is infrastructure management configuration tools, and one is infrastructure as a code tool like Terraform, CloudFormation. Both have a vast difference between, that means within themselves. Whereas in CloudFormation and Terraform are used to create the infrastructure for once. Okay, they can't maintain the integrity. Whereas if I go with Ansible, Puppet, and Chef, they will maintain the integrity of your infrastructure. How? We'll see. Why Ansible? So using this graph, you can easily understand. So as I told you, now it is a Red Hat product. Okay. So names really matters. Okay. So mostly financial organization always look for the support. Okay. So in most of the organization nowadays, you will see Ansible is being used by. It is easy to learn. If I compare with Chef or Puppet, Ansible is more easy to learn. Okay. You don't need any you can say a development skill. Okay, you need not to go and start learning any language, not required at all. Okay, so if you know Ansible, Puppet, or Chef, conceptually all three tools are same. Okay, conceptually I'm talking about all three tools are same, just terminologies are different. Okay, but all three tools will do the same thing. If you run the code that I want to create a user, all three tools will create a user. Okay, it's not going to be happen like that. Ansible is creating user, Chef is deleting the user and then creating the user. No, all three tools will do the same thing. Okay, so wherever you will see Ansible, Puppet, or Chef, and if you don't know Chef, still you can apply. If you don't know Puppet, still you can apply. Just you have to understand the terminologies. Okay, for example, in Ansible we write the code which is named as Playbook. The file in which we write the code we call as Playbook. In Puppet, we call as manifest. In Chef, we call as cookbook. So only the terminologies are different, but conceptually all three tools are same. Okay. So I will tell you one important interview question on this. Okay. So advantage of Ansible: easy to learn, written in Python, easy installation and configuration steps. No need to install Ansible on slave, highly scalable. Okay. Just one command, only one command is required to set up the Ansible. That's it. Apart from that, you don't need to do anything else. Just simple run apt-get install Ansible, done. Yum install Ansible, done. This is the setup of Ansible. Okay. So no complexity at all. So popularity of Ansible, you can see it is being used by Apple, NASA, Intel, Cisco, Twitter, even most of the financial organization. If you go and see, okay, like Citibank, HSBC, okay, then you have Diosh Bank, all the big financial institutions are using Ansible. How does Ansible work? Okay, so with the help of Ansible Playbook, as I told you, we write a file which is known as Ansible. Okay, this file is simply a YAML file. You have to write the code in YAML format. Okay, so YAML format is nothing but the key values. There will be a key, and against that key there will be a value. If written, that means if it is a repetitive verb, we have to create a list. Okay, so here just you have to understand YAML is very you can say syntax based file. Okay, or return, that means the coding. Okay, even if there is a wrong single space, okay, it will treat that code in a different manner. Okay, so yes, indentation you can say. So here we have to understand which key is a part of which parent, or which child is a part of which parent. Okay, so you have to understand that stuff. If you write a key, okay, and it is not in a proper indentation, and that key is pointing towards parent, it's not pointing to the current child, so the whole coding or the flow of your code will change. Okay, so that's why here indentation is very important. Even a single dot or single space change the whole behavior of your code. Okay, so that is one of the important thing what we have to take care while writing the YAML file. And if you don't need to worry about it, there are number of editors available. Visual Code, you have even Node++, if you use Notepad++, you will get that indentation or the proper setup of YAML file. Okay, so Eclipse is there, IntelliJ is there, so a lot of editors are available. So see what exactly how the Ansible is resolving our issues. So this is the problem statement. So Josh runs an enterprise, wants to install a newer version of Tomcat in all the system. If I have 4 to 5 software, 4 to 5 servers, I will simply run 4 to 5 times to install a Tomcat. It's not a big problem for me. Or I can write a shell script. I will write a shell script and I will try to execute that shell script in all the servers. Done. Okay. If I have a very small infrastructure, instead of going each system manually updating, Josh can use Ansible to automate the installation using Ansible Playbook. How? So first, we have to understand the architecture of Ansible. Ansible, on the master server, we have to write the playbooks. While writing the playbook, we have to define where you want to run that playbook. Okay. So the entry of those servers are nothing but inventories. Inventory is nothing but a text file which contains the information of your agents or the machine where you want to run your playbook, or where you want to, or where you automate the process of installation. That is nothing but inventories. Okay, modules is nothing but a piece of code using which you are automating the process of installation. Okay, so those modules we are specifying in my playbook. For example, I want to create a user. So to create a user, my module name is user. To install a package, my module name is package. To start a service, my module name is service. Because this module contain the actual code, how your code is going to behave. Okay, I know that number of people are from the development background, so you guys very easily understanding. It is a function, it is a module. Against that function, what exactly is thing is going to be happen. Okay, so if I want to create a file, I will use file module. So file module, what file you want to create, or let's talk about user module. So it is very easier for you to understand. I want to create a user. Okay, which user you want to create? I want to create user Rahul. What exactly you want to do with Rahul? I want to, or ensure, create. So this is the options. This is the parameter I want to pass. So I'm saying I want to create user. That's why I have used module, user module. Okay, which user you want to create? I want to create Rahul user. So I've passed that parameter. What exactly you want to do? Whether you want to delete or you want to create. So I've passed ensure create. That's it. Okay. So if manually you want to do, okay, so what you will do? You will use this command, user add Rahul. This is the command you are going to use in your Linux box. So in place of doing this, I'm writing a code. That's the difference. A manual way. This is the manual way. To create to create using Ansible, you have to write this 2-line code. Even if you don't define this, the default nature of your user module is create only. If you don't define any action, it always trying to create the thing. If you, for example, I want to install package called git. Okay, what exactly you want to do? Ensure installed. If you don't define this line, by default package will take installed as a default action. Okay, so a single line code will do everything automatically what you were doing manually. So manually, how you will install? I will use apt-get command or yum command. This is what I was going to do. Okay, so this is how module works. Okay, I will explain you in more detail as we progress. Okay, so after that, your master is going to SSH to those machine which you have defined in your inventories where you want to run this playbook. So it will SSH into that machine and execute the code which you have defined or which you have written in your playbook. That's it. This is the simple architecture of your Ansible. There is no such configuration you have to do. There is no server client protocol. Just there is a server. Server is nothing but a small machine where you have installed Ansible and you are writing the playbooks. That's it. Okay. Module is the code. Module is the code, or it is a function against your instruction. Inventory, that is what I'm telling you. Inventory is the file which contains the list of server where you want to execute your playbooks. Playbooks is nothing but what exactly you want to install on those servers. Okay, so what playbook is? Playbook contains what exactly, which task you want to execute. For example, I have given you the task, go and set up the Apache server. Go and set up the Apache server. So what, now you have to think what exactly we have to do. Okay, so I have to make sure that there will be a service package. Okay, there should be a file called HTML file. So I will create one HTML file like this. So I will install the package Apache 2 in Ubuntu. I will start the service like Apache 2. This is something what I think. These three things comes in my mind when I have to write a playbook, because my task is go and set up the Apache in your 4 to 5 machines. But here you have to be very careful. If whatever the infrastructure is a code tool you are going to use, not just Chef, Puppet and Ansible, even CloudFormation or Terraform or CF Engine. So a lot of tools are available. Flow matters. If I go with this current flow where I am starting the service, install the package and create the file, it will fail. Why? Because when it will try to start the service, package is not installed yet, then how service will start? So any configuration management tool, just remember flow matters. So you have to write the proper flow. So after installing, my service should come. So flow matters in any configuration management tool. If you go with the wrong flow, it will break your run. Okay. So what exactly playbook have? Playbook describe the task, what exactly you are going to execute. It is written in simple language. Playbooks are like instructions. Okay. Now, what inventories have? As I told you, it contains the list of hosts where exactly you want to run the playbook. Modules like are like a tool, can control system resource like service package, and we have more than 500 plus modules. You won't able to use that many modules at all. Okay, so from the interview point of view, they will ask you what modules you have used. So just pick all those modules which you are using on daily basis, like package, service, file, template, user. Then we have yum, apt-get. If you are going to use AWS, so for AWS, I have AWS EC2, AWS IAM, AWS VPC. So just remember 15 to 20 modules. That's it, because we are not going to use that many modules. Okay. So for every cloud provider, Ansible has modules. Okay. Now let's see the case study of NASA. NASA needed to move roughly 65 plus applications from a traditional hardware-based data center to the cloud-based environment for better agility and cost saving. So NASA used Ansible to manage and schedule the cloud environment. Okay, so as I told you, you just write a code. In place of you, your Ansible is going to do everything for you. You don't need to worry about it. You have to just execute one command and you're done with that. So cloud provide better operations. Cloud provide better operation and security to its client, increase team efficiency. Patching updates went from a multi-day process to 45 minutes. Yes. Okay. If I ask you, go and create a file in 100 servers, how much time you can think? If it takes 1 minute, minimum 1 minute in one server, that means 100 minutes in 100 server. If I ask Ansible to create that file in 100 server, okay, so how much time it will take? It will take the time to create a file, enter into the server and create a file for, okay, only that much time for all the 100 servers. In one shot, it will go into the 100 servers and create the file. So let's assume it 1 minute only. I'm just assuming it 1 minute. In place of 100 minutes, now your work is done in 1 minute. Okay. So this is how Ansible is helping you to, okay, it is automatically increasing your efficiency. It is saving your time. Human mistakes definitely is going to be reduced. I'm not saying that there will be no human mistake. Now creating Ansible playbook. So an organized unit of script define work for a server configuration written in YAML. So as I told you, flow matters in playbook. Okay. So in one playbook, I can create multiple plays. One play for one server, one the second play for a second server, and third play for third server. Or in one playbook, you can create multiple plays for multiple statements or multiple problem statements. Each play can have multiple tasks. So as I told you, when we want to set up a server, so just package is only one task, but just installing the package is not going to help me. So I have to create multiple tasks. So one task is package, second task is service, third task is file. Okay. So it's very rare you will see in one task your all the work is going to be up. So we have to create multiple tasks. And one task can have multiple modules, notifier handlers, the way I'm showing here. Okay. So when we write a playbook, then you will get more clarity. Okay. Now I will just show you one example of a playbook.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in cloud and DevOps, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in cloud computing and DevOps by ENICT Academy IIT Roorkee, and it is taught by IIT Roorkee professors and industry experts. This course is designed to upskill and land your dream job. Now let's continue with the session.
So say we want to create a playbook with two plays with the following tasks. One task is I want to execute one command on host one. Then I want to execute one script in the same host. That is our first play. Now second play is for second host, where I am executing one script and then I am going to install Nginx. So your playbook something look like this. Now this is my first play. In this play, it is going to be executed on host one. Okay. The name of the play is play one. Sudo means automatically it will get the admin rights. One important thing, for any configuration management tool, we require admin rights. If you don't have admin rights, your configuration management run is going to fail definitely, because in most of the tasks you require admin rights. For example, to install the packages, without admin rights you won't able to install the packages. There is no way. Okay, so remember this thing. Most of the time you will see your configuration management tools are run with admin rights. Now in the second play, which is going to run on the host 2. The name of the play is play 2 sudo. That means I've required admin rights, and the tasks are I want to execute the script on this server. So I'm using script module. I want to install the Nginx on this server. So here we are using apt module. Okay. So using apt, who is going to tell me what flavor that my instance is going to have? Yes, it will have Ubuntu. Okay. So my second play is only applicable for Ubuntu servers. If I try to run this play on CentOS, what will happen? Yes, it will fail. Okay. So this is not a generic playbook. As a DevOps engineer, always try to write a generic playbook. Okay. So you need not to make the changes every time in your playbook. Okay, this time I have to install on Ubuntu. Let's make the change for Ubuntu. Oh, I got the CentOS. Let's try to make the changes in the playbook. So always try to write a generic playbook. Okay. So I will tell you the logic behind that. Okay, why we require generic playbook. Let's move forward. Now, all the playbook will start with 3-, which denotes it is a YAML file. Okay, that by default your Ansible look. First dash host is equal to host one. That is my first play. Okay, so indicate that single dash indicates it is a list. As I told you, when you have a repetitive stuff, we have to start with list. So here we have a repetitive stuff. We have a multiple plays, but even though there is a difference in play in the definition of plays, but from the YAML point of view, it is a repetitive work. We have a 2 plays. That means it is a loop. So we have to use list. Now, host can have one host or a group of hosts from the inventory file. So that I'm going to show you. You can create once your list of hosts, or you can create a group of hosts. For example, I have a farm of web server. Farm means where you have multiple servers for web server. So I will put, and I know that all web servers are identical to each other. So I will create a group called web server, and I will put all the servers into that group. So in place of calling each server one by one, I will simply call the group. So automatically the same code will applicable to all the servers, because I have called the group, not the specific server. Okay. So we can we can specify one single server or a group of servers. Each plays like a dictionary and has name, host, task, order, doesn't matter. Which order doesn't matter? Order of these lines: host, name, sudo, or task. but the order of task matters. As I told you, flow matters. Okay, so flow of tasks matters. So the playbook is a list of dictionary. Similarly, tasks are nothing but list denoted by dash. For task order collection, position of entry matters. First entry get performed first. Okay, so when we create a playbook, it's something, it looks like this. Okay, to execute the playbook, before executing, we have to make sure the syntax should be correct. So we can write this command: Ansible, name of the playbook, dash dash syntax check. So it will check the syntax of your playbook. It won't execute the commands. You can put anywhere in that particular play. So that's why I'm telling you, host, name, sudo, and task order doesn't matter, but the order of the task matter. Okay. Now let's talk about Ansible roles. So up till now, we were talking about playbooks. Playbook is something where you're writing the flow, what instructions you want to run. One playbook you have written for, let's talk about, I was installing Java 1.8. Okay, my requirement was that you have to write a playbook to install Java 1.8. Okay, on host. So for example, I have a server 1. This is my inventory, where on server 1 I have to install Java 1.8. So I have written this. Now I got a requirement, there will be a server 2. Okay, there will be a server 2 where you have to install Java 1.6. Now you tell me what you are going to do. You are going to create multiple playbook, or you will modify first playbook, just change the server name and change the version. Okay, same playbook with different version. How you maintain the integrity? See what, so I will tell you the reason behind using these tools. I have a 5,000 servers. I don't know who is entering into the server and what they are doing. I don't know, but I want to make the integrity of these servers. So you definitely, integrity means here, from our point of view, desired state of my server. So desired state of my server is, for example, I have created a user called Rahul. If somebody enter into that server and delete Rahul, this is my desired state for that server? What is the desired state for that server? Rahul user should be present. This is my desired state. So if somebody delete the Rahul, so automatically Rahul user needs to be created. That is why we are using a configuration management tool. So that means some process will continuously running after periodic time or periodic interval, like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, which will check the integrity of my machine. If it is not there, or if my desired state is not there, it will try to bring the desired state. Yes, that is what we want. That's why we are going with a configuration management tool. Else we don't require. I will just use a shell script. I will execute the shell script. Okay. So your first strategy, use the same playbook, change the host. It's not going to work. Okay. Now second strategy, one playbook with different host. Again, you are going to change the host. Then how automatic process will make sure that on that particular host I have to run, because you have changed the playbook condition, you have changed the playbook content, so it is not going to work. So that's why we never follow this process. We follow Ansible roles. Okay, so roles is nothing but a generic code or reusable code where you don't need to make any change. So what I will do, I will create a role, something like Java 1.8 or Java 1.6. So I need not to do the repetitive work. I need not to write the code for Java 1.8 and 1.6 differently. Okay. What I will do, I will create a one generic code where I will pass version as an argument. Say the same code will use for multiple versions. Okay. So what I will do, I will create one play for Java 1.8 and another play for Java 1.6. Only versions is going to differ, but the code is going to be same, because in code I have to use yum install Java or apt-get install Java. This is the code. Just try to understand. Only this is the code which is used to install Java. So why unnecessary I will run these two commands differently for 1.8 and 1.6? I will use the same command, but I will pass the version as an argument. So I will create a role and I will pass the versions as an argument to my role. So this is how you have to create a reusable code. Okay. So we never change the playbook if it is already used by any server. Go and create a new playbook, that's fine. But even in new playbook, why unnecessary you want to write a code, same code again? For example, my playbook one, where I will use, I'm writing a code for installing Apache package, service, and file. This is my code. Now again, I'm creating one new playbook where again it is used to install Apache. Then why unnecessary I will write this code? There should be one single generic code now. So in place of doing this, I will simply use my role called Apache. So you need not to write the code again and again. So that is what modular programming is there. We always prefer modular programming where you just use the module. So in Ansible, we call as roles. Okay. So what is role? Role is a group of tasks, file, and handlers stored in a standardized file structure. Roles are small functionalities which can be used independently, but only within playbooks. Playbook, Ansible playbooks organize tasks, Ansible role organize playbook. Okay. So roles simplify writing complex playbook. Roles allow you to reuse common configuration steps between different type of servers. Roles are flexible and can be easily modified. Now this is the structure. On the left hand side, if you see, the role consists of default, file, handlers, meta, task, template, test, vars. In playbook, if I ask you to write a playbook for Apache, we will put everything in a one file. But if I want to go with role strategy, so tasks will go into the task, templates will go into the templates, files will go into the files, variables go into the default or vars. Okay, so you have to properly put the code into the specific folders. So what default contain? Default store data about the role. Also store default variables. Files store files that needs to be pushed to the remote machine. Handlers tasks that create triggered from some action. So I will tell you this by showing the scenario, how handlers is useful for us. Meta, information about author, support, platform and dependency. Meta is just nothing but the information about that particular role or playbook, whatever you, okay, just an information. Tasks contain the main list of tasks to be executed by the role. That means our instructions. Template contain templates which can be deployed via role. Handler tasks get triggered from some action. Vars store variables with high priority than default variable, difficult to override. For example, what exactly this? So for I created a variable like key1 and its value1 in default folder, but I want to override the value. I want to override the value of key1. So without changing anything in the default folder, in vars I will pass the same key with different value. So when your role is going to execute on the server, it will override the default value called value1 with value2. So you need not to make any change in the default variables whenever you want to override. Just create a new same variable in the vars folder with the new value, whatever value you want. Now, how to create roles? Ansible Galaxy init role name -- offline. Now there is a motive of specifying -- offline. If you don't specify, so Ansible Galaxy is the community for Ansible where they have written all the roles by default. Okay, if you are not interested, write your own roles, you can download it from there. But again, there is a challenge. We don't know how that role is going to behave in your machine, even though it is for installing Apache, but it is an open source. So whether there is any bug or something is there which will create a loophole in your machine, so we always try to write our own role. Second thing, those roles are generic. That means those roles are written to keep all the flavors, all the different type of VMs, okay, like Windows 32-bit, 64-bit, Linux, Mac, all those things, or they have write the code for all the different type of OS. So the time taken by for the execution will be more for those kind of roles. If you write your own role, you will write your that role according to your environment. We are using Linux box, so you won't write anything for Windows or for Mac. We are using 64-bit machine, so you won't write anything for 32-bit. So you will write a small and specific to your environment, so the execution time for your role will be more faster than if you compare with the generic code. Okay, but if it is more complex and there are huge dependencies between the row between the you can say between one role with the other role, because many times these guys created the role where they put the dependency of the other role, then it will take more time to nullify those dependencies and all those things. It's better to write your own role. Yeah, you can read it. Okay, that will definitely help you how we have to write a role. Okay, it will give you one picture. Okay, so these are the important things. You can pick that code and write your own role, but don't try to modify that role. You definitely will end with some mess. Okay, so this is the command to create own role. Ansible Galaxy init role name dash offline. Okay, so this is tree. It is a Linux package which will help you to see the file structure in a tree manner. Okay, then if you see in the task, we are including the multiple YAML files. So there are different ways to write your own task. I can put everything in one task file, or I can include multiple YAML file in the task. Okay, so in the task we have written what exactly you want to do. We are installing the package, we are copying the file, we are starting the service. Okay, and then we are creating the files, okay, which needs to be copied to the remote machine. So we are under the files folder, we are copying some files over there. Okay, so this is how important thing, notify name and handler name should match. So we have to set up a notifier which will talk to the handler. Okay, if you don't set up notifier, it won't talk to the handler. So what is the you can say integration between the two, or how one is dependent on other, I will show you. Okay, then inside the metadata you can write whatever you want, your name, email ID, maintainer name, if you have any dependency, because on the basis of that you can understand what exactly this role is going to do. Okay, and then your configuration something look like this. Simply call your role into that particular playbook for which you want to install where you want to install your Apache. So this is your inventory where you want to install this role. Okay, and then execute the playbook and it will install Apache on those boxes. So this is how role works. So I will show you same case or same problem statement with playbook and then using role. And then you can easily understand why roles are more beneficial than writing the whole code into the playbook. Okay, so this is what we have from the Ansible point of view.
Just a quick info, guys. If you want to make a career in cloud and DevOps, then Intellipaat provides an advanced certification in cloud computing and DevOps by ENICT Academy IIT Roorkee, and it is taught by IIT Roorkee professors and industry experts. This course is designed to upskill and land your dream job.